India decides, and I'm Maria Shakir. Stoking a controversy, DMK MP A Raja has said that India has never been one nation, but it is a subcontinent which is home to diverse practices and cultures. The BJP slammed him, alleging that it was a call for Balkanisation of the country. A Raja's enemies of Ram comment seems to have left the India bloc on the back foot. The Congress and other India bloc members condemned the controversial remarks of A Raja and asserted that one should exercise restraint while speaking. But A Raja and DMK aren't new to controversy. Only yesterday, DMK Minister Udayanidhi Stalin was pulled up by the top court on his Sanatan Dharma comment, with the court saying he is not a layman but a minister. First up, all the reactions, and then I bring in the guests.
நாங்கள் உங்களோடு வருகிறோம் கூட்டணிக்கு, ஆனால் எங்களோடு இருக்கிற வரை உங்க சேட்டையெல்லாம் காட்டக்கூடாதுன்னு கையெழுத்து வாங்கிட்டு உள்ள போன இயக்கம் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம். அப்ப பெரியார் இருக்கிற போது ஆபத்தில்லை, அண்ணா இருந்த போது ஆபத்தில்லை, கொள்கையை கொடுத்தார்கள். கலைஞர் இருந்த போது ஆபத்து வந்தது, தடுத்து நிறுத்தினோம். ஆனால் இன்றைக்கு முத்துவேல் கருணாநிதி ஸ்டாலின் என்ற மகத்தான மனிதர் முதலமைச்சராக இருக்கிற போது இந்தியாவினுடைய நிலைமை என்ன எண்ணி பாருங்கள். இந்தியாவினுடைய நிலைமை என்ன? ஏறத்தாழ ஓராண்டு காலம் அரசியல் நிர்ணய சபை, ஜவஹர்லால் நேருவிலிருந்து பெரிய பெரிய அறிஞர்கள் எல்லாம், கோபால் சேமா ஐயங்கார்ல இருந்து சர்தார் பட்டேல்ல இருந்து பெரிய பெரிய அறிஞர்கள் எல்லாம் உட்கார்ந்து, அம்பேத்கர்ல இருந்து எல்லாரும் உட்கார்ந்து அரசியல் நிர்ணய சபை ஏற்படுத்தி அந்த சபையிலே இந்தியா எப்படி இருக்க வேண்டும், இந்தியாவுக்கு என்ன சட்டம் தேவை, அரசியல் சட்டத்தை எப்படி கொண்டு வருவது என்று ஓராண்டு காலம் கிட்டத்தட்ட வாய்த்தார்கள். என்ன காரணம்? முதல் பாயிண்ட், இந்தியா ஒரு நாடு அல்ல. நல்லா புரிஞ்சுங்க, இந்தியா எப்போதும் ஒரு நாடு அல்ல. ஒரே நாடுனா ஒரே மொழி, ஒரே பண்பாடு, ஒரே கலாச்சாரம் இருந்தால் ஒரு நாடு.
कि क्या भारत की आइडेंटिटी को बदनाम करना इंडिया गठबंधन की फितरत बन गया है? क्या भारतीय आस्था को अपमानित करना उनका पॉलिटिकल एजेंडा बन गया है? क्या भारतीय संस्कृति और संस्कार को पब्लिकली ह्यूमिलिएट करना उनका पॉलिटिकल एजेंडा है?
And on the show tonight, I ask, India not a nation? That is the comment that has been made by A Raja, and he has stirred up another controversy. Someone who's not really new to controversy. Joining me on the show, S. Muralidharan, political analyst. Sumansi Raman is a political analyst. We have Rahul Ishwar, activist, and Ramaswamy Mayappan, political analyst and lawyer as well. I'm going to begin with you, Mr. Muralidharan. What is it that makes the DMK leaders make such controversial comments? We have seen what happened to Udayanidhi Stalin's statement, a comment that he had made in September last year. And now a rather irresponsible comment coming from another senior functionary. He's a member of parliament here, Mr. A. Raja.
Maria, let's go through what he really said. He said India is not a single country. India is not a country with a single language. It is multi-language and it's multicultural. So we cannot call it a country as such, so let's call it a subcontinent. That's what subcontinent really meant. So I did not find anything wrong there because this is a country of multi-language and multiculture. Look at how is the country defined as? It's defined as sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. I don't think he said anything wrong. For the first time, probably, I think he spoke something sensible. Okay. Always used to take a dig at
Hinduತ್ವ, but the question
BJP,
is,
probably.
To talk about diversity, you need not talk about how it is not a nation. A nation can have, just as we have, different languages, different cultures. That's about subnational identity. But the statement certainly appears to be divisive. Rahul Ishwar, your thought on this?
Yeah, just one submission. Sri A. Raja was Minister of Health and Family Welfare of India itself. It's an obvious fact. See, India, we are a great civilization culture. Yes, there is great diversity, but our great founding forefathers united us as a nation. That's the reason why Netaji called Gandhiji as the father of the nation. India is an ancient civilization and modern nation, and PM Modi ji rightly has said Tamil is older than Sanskrit. And Vivekananda used to say this: Tamil is the mother of Indian civilization, Sanskrit being the father. So we are a coming together of various streams into one glorious nation, which has one of the ancient most civilization. The point here is very deep. The point here is people like A. Raja, what they are doing is they are instigating people, creating hatred. This can be rightly put under 153 and 295. And Supreme Court has repeatedly said that for hate speeches, police need not wait for any kind of authorization from court or government. See, I'm a Hindu activist and I have filed complaints against Sadhvi Prachi for her anti-Muslim remarks and Islamophobic remarks. Had the same been said about our Muslim brothers or Christian brothers or Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Jesus Christ, there would have been outrage globally. But when it is about Hindus, they are a soft target. We are a punching bag easy for politicians to come and hit. That's a very unfortunate situation. Any community hatred, from whether it is ultra right or ultra left, doesn't matter, or the ultra Dravidian.
What is emerging here, Ramaswamy Mayappan, is that here is a party and its leaders who are talking about obvious divisive issues. You have spoken about one nation, one language. I mean, that's never going to happen, right? Even the national education policy talks about 3 languages. So, there is always that language divide that DMK talks about. And now this kind of push that is coming in from A. Raja, he's a public representative. Do you think there has to be a great degree of caution, particularly during election time? This becomes an emotive issue. Why fans such issues?
Very good evening, Maria. I think it's a sad evening just for one sense that an elected representative stoops to such level just for political gain, some attention, and some claps from his own partymen. The unfortunate situation is India as a nation has not been recognized just under the constitution. India as a nation has been recognized by Subramania Bharati even before independence. Parukulle Nalla Nadu was one of his songs. And that stems emotion even before independence. He saw India as a country even before it was unified, even before it was a free republic. India was seen as a uniform civilization by Western influences. Even Max Muller called it a civilization, even a unified national civilization before that. Or let us take into philosophies from Plato and others, we were still a national civilization. And let us look at our constitution, the manner in which it's schemed. Once again, we are again a nation. And nation was not brought about by languages. The linguistic division of the states took place only in 1956. India, as it was independent in 1947, under the constitution in 1950, was not divided linguistically. We were all regionally based on the natural resource and how the previous monarchical systems and our governing systems function. That's how we were brought about as states.
Yes.
And for an elected representative to mistake all this and only understand from 1956 that there are separate states and they are all separate countries is unfortunate. And let us take history as well. The Chera Chola Pandyas, they had common languages and common ethos and common systems. And India across the board, let us take whatever religious and practice. Let it be Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Hinduism. All these spread across the entire region today, what we call Akhanda Bharat. So it is not only restricted to Tamil Nadu or Bihar or Punjab or Assam or Jammu and Kashmir. These civilizational ethos, the manner in which we pray, who we worship, how we eat, how we dress, dependent on only our climatic conditions and what our soil provided for us.
Is there a problem with the very understanding and the manner in which it is being communicated right now here, Sumansi Raman? Because here is a member of parliament of a political party which has clear dominance in Tamil Nadu, and you have Prime Minister making that very aggressive push there, and he is saying that India has never been one nation. And his argument is that one nation is about one language, one tradition and one culture. And only such characteristics make one nation. Is there a very flawed understanding of what a nation is?
Maria, if there is a flawed understanding, the same flawed understanding has been there for 60 to 70 years. And unfortunately, nobody has called them out for it. There have been neither political consequences nor legal consequences for repeatedly taking the same line. In fact, all those who are now objecting and saying that this is terrible and he should not have spoken, some of them were allied with the same party when it said even worse things between 1999 and 2003. So let's be very clear that the Dravidian ideology, in my opinion, is a divisive ideology. It is every bit as divisive as the Hindutva ideology is. The only issue is that targets are different. Now, the point is, Mr. Raja has been saying pretty much the same thing, not now, as far as I know itself, at least for over a decade and a half. And suddenly, a few months before the elections, simply because they are part of India Alliance, and this embarrasses the Congress, which, by the way, today has completely dissociated itself from these remarks saying that they don't agree with it. The point is that this is being politicized. BJP and the DMK, despite all this, sparring that they do in public, actually have a very good equation with each other. And I think that this whole thing is just nothing but political drama. Neither will Mr. Raja stop saying this. Perhaps they're doing it to deliberately, embarrass the Congress. This is not the first statement. Mr. Udayanidhi Stalin said he wanted to eradicate Sanatana Dharma. Then subsequently, there were remarks made in Parliament.
Some larger conspiracy. We also have Kasturi Shankar joining us as well. I will have her on the screen in just a bit. In fact, she's there on the screen. In fact, Kasturi, the various political parties who form the India bloc, we did try to reach out to them, hoping that they would, whatever they have said on, in press conferences, they will also say so during the course of a debate, but that did not happen. So is there a sense that there is some kind of a larger conspiracy that you make these comments, which leads to some reaction from the other side? So it will be seen as the BJP is the principal opposition, taking on the larger idea of divisiveness as being talked about by DMK versus unity as the BJP talks about, the Akhand Bharat concept.
I'm going to not go with that conspiracy theory. I don't think DMK and especially Mr. Raja will be willing scapegoats and, walk into a sacrifice for the greater good of BJP's larger vision. No. That's not happening. What is actually happening is that this is actually a very boring pattern that, as Sumant rightly pointed out, we have been seeing over and over again. It's a very repetitive pattern where DMK will come out and push buttons every time they feel empowered, every time they feel that they have a little bit of an upper ground. Like yesterday, there was a huge rally. Not as huge as RJD would like us to believe, but huge enough where I think the Raja got excited and then his true colors come out. He has always talked about these things. He has always talked ill of Hinduism. He has called all Hindus sons of... I cannot even say what he said, but you get the drift. He has called expletives on anybody who follows the Hindu religion. He has told people that if you believe that India is one country, then you're a fool. So today he has said the same thing. And he justifies it by saying countries have one language, one nation. It's actually so amusing, so ironical that BJP's line is one nation, one ration, one language. And he is actually towing that. He's actually saying if that is the case, then we are not one India.
Okay, so that's a reading, Ramaswamy Mayappan. Is he actually taking the BJP line here?
No, absolutely not. So the BJP line is about indigenous systems being protected, indigenous languages getting their rightful space. But the DMK here is about opposing all other indigenous systems except for just Tamil in Tamil Nadu. They do not want anyone else to prosper. They just want their political gains. And these statements are not even practical. These statements are not realistic. These statements are not truthful. Because when they are policymakers at the center, their policy position changes. But when they come back to the state and want to campaign for their elections, their position changes. They always keep flip-flopping. I may align with Sumant Raman sir only on one issue, that the DMK constantly peddles this hatred and divisiveness just in order to get votes when it comes to election time. But apart from this, there is no other mechanism through which the DMK can take their policies to the people and actually gather votes.
And one
the DMK does not ally with the BJP.
Senior party functionaries in
Maria,
public domain, making these
one point.
statements, Mr. Muralidharan, is this part of, as Mr. Suman C. Raman says, some kind of pattern which is emerging? And then the party says that we do not want to engage in these issues. The larger issue is that several states in southern India are deprived of it. That's what we were told when we asked for, requested for a DMK spokesperson. So those issues are more important for them, but why talk about division of this nature?
I don't think so, Maria. You look at the Hindu population in Tamil Nadu, probably it's around 80%. And apart from that, even latest as yesterday, the poll predictions gave some 43% to DMK. So Hindus actually, don't mind, he's saying all this. He's probably saying this to provoke the BJP, etc. But I don't think people really care about this. As Mr. Sumant and Kasturi said, okay, he's been saying for 10 years, so nobody wants to really listen to it. But end of the day, what is that which matters is, yes, as a Dravidian ideology, as a southern party, yes, they oppose Hindutva, etc. So I think that's
so
the
why
only
is the
point
BJP
here.
getting provoked, Suman C.
Can I
Raman,
point
here?
out one thing?
But just before Rahul, one second. Maria, you also must remember that the DMK today is in power because of the minority vote in the state. The minority vote is between 13 and 15%, and the DMK gets 95% of that minority vote. And mind you, the difference between the DMK and the AIADMK combined in the last assembly elections was less than 4%. So today, if they are in power simply because the minorities vote for them in overwhelming numbers. Minus the minority vote, the DMK will not be in power. And therefore, some of this talk is also aimed at appeasement. I don't know how this kind of talk will appease minorities, but the Dravidian ideology perhaps believes in that, or the leaders of the DMK believe that this will somehow, appeal to the minorities. And that may be another reason why.
Yes, Rahul.
Mariaji, please contrast this with the pitch and with the narrative of Sri Narendra Modi. Anybody who has studied Indian history knows that Tamil versus Sanskrit was a narrative that went on for centuries. And Narendra Modi was confidently saying and very happily saying that Tamil is older than Sanskrit and Tamil is one of the oldest language. That is a statesman. That's how statesman behaves. That's how leaders behave. Because they don't simply play for their constituency, play for their core vote bank, but rather they reach out, they mend fences, they bring people together, they synergize. And Modi ji has been instrumental in bringing Kashi Tamil Sangam, which is a great initiative. As an Indian from South or a South Indian, I feel proud that Modi ji is giving so much attention to the south of part of India in spite of having nearly zero seats there. So this is the attitude of the politician who are not statesmen. People like A. Raja are rabble rousers. They want that kind of hatred and some kind of strife to continue because they are conflict entrepreneurs. When they see a conflict, when they see a controversy, they have a political opportunity. They sense a kind of political opportunity. And these kind of things should not be said about any community.
Do these conflict entrepreneurs, to borrow from what Rahul Ishwar said, Kasturi, have sanctions from the top? From their own party bosses?
You're suggesting sanctions from DMK's top?
Yes.
Absolutely. What are you talking about? A. Raja is an integral part of the top. He is the top. He makes all these. If you notice, DMK never goes back and distances itself from its leaders. It's India Alliance, or rather the India Alliance, that distances itself and quickly scrambles to, perform some face-saving exercises, because the DMK from day one has been an embarrassment to the alliance. They talk about Sanatana, which they ruins the vote bank of the other allies. They talk about Tamil Nadu and Orissa and Malayalam being a different country, which is, actually it shows an abject ignorance of Indian history. It shows an abject ignorance of South Indian history, of Kerala's history also. It's very unfortunate. He could have said, yes, India is a union of many kingdoms and states historically, but it is the union of India now, and he is part of that system. I have just one question. If Tamil Nadu is its own state, then why fight the Lok Sabha elections at all? Why be part of the India alliance at all? Please go have your own elections. Please don't even, he's going to now contest the elections. Na, nahi na, karo mat aap lado mat, just go na. Don't try to become an MP again.
Let me give Sumansi Raman the last 30 seconds. Yes, Mr. Raman. I want to understand, do these issues really become talking point in Tamil Nadu at all?
No, not really.
Or are people so used to these kind of very, very divisive statements?
These are the same statements which we have been hearing only for the last 50 to 60 years, Maria. So I don't think that people are even going to pay much attention to this. These are distractions basically to also in some ways build up the BJP as their primary rival and push out the AIADMK to some extent, which potentially has the ability to offer the DMK a real run for its money, which the BJP does not. So I don't think this is a grand conspiracy theory. This is obvious. You just need to add the dots of what's been happening for the last 6 to 7 months, and anyone can tell you that these two parties are helping each other, and both of them have a common aim in edging out the AIADMK, which is what they are trying to achieve.
AIADMK is edged out, and so the opposition becomes the BJP, and there is a response and counter-response that comes out.
Absolutely.
But the larger question is, why make a statement which is divisive? India is one nation. It can have multiple traditions. It has multiple traditions, multiple languages, and also multiple cultures. Thank you so much for joining us, Kasturi Shankar, Ramaswamy Mayappan, Rahul Ishwar, Sumansi Raman, and Mr. Muralidharan. That's all from me from this episode of India Decides. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.